Hey everybody, it's Andy here, aka Montolio, and we're back for another vintage challenge. And today I'm playing CradleVine. And this is a deck I'm seriously considering for Eternal Weekend, although the ebb and flow of the metagame dictates whether this deck is actually good right now. Um, there is a lot of combo running around currently in the metagame, which is a little bit of a concern with this deck, as we're typically not able to interact well with combo outside of the Collector Roofs or Force of Vigors in game one, but we can shore that up, of course, with some mind break traps post board. But for those of you unaware, this deck basically is just trying to bring back Vengevines with the 8 root wallas and the hollow one. We've got some cheap casting cost spells like Hex Drinker that we can cast, which have some late game implications and can close out a game all on their own. I am running the Hogax and the full cast of Bloodghast. This particular one makes us a little bit more vulnerable to graveyard hate, but of course these are things that we side out typically post board. I am trying to become immense just as a sneak attack measure. I think the deck can support it reasonably easily, and trying to catch someone off guard with that, or blow out something like an Atraxor or something like that. Anyways, post board today we are trying the Leyline of the Void. Typically, I'm not a fan of Leyline of the Void in these types of builds. One, because you can't cast it. Number two, because I can't protect it. And that said, there's a lot of squee running around, and this gives me a better chance at being able to combat squee because they're not able to recur their squeeze and Master of Death with the same levity with Leyline in play, and them keeping Force of Vigors in is typically a win for me. So I would think a lot of people would side them out, knowing that I don't run them normally. And I am going to run the Endurance here and some Dismembers for the initiative matchup for miscellaneous creatures. That said, guys, we do have an opponent waiting. Why don't we get going? Appreciate you hanging out as always. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you round one. All right, here we go, guys. Round one. We did not win the die roll, unfortunately. Um, this hand is not great, but we're going to keep it. See what we can do with it. So difference between play draw here. My opponent's on white initiative, and this is going to be a tough one for me to beat. I have to pray this is not an Archon. If it's Seasoned Dungeoneer, I do feel a little better, despite it's probably very bad for me. Okay. That's a tough one for me to beat. We're just going to have to hope that we've slowed them down enough here that they don't have another land. They only have 2 cards in hand, and we're just going to have to try and claw our way back in here. The good news is we do have a Cradle Yavimaya of Growth. All right, we're in. The question is, do I want a Bazaar of Baghdad looking for Bloodghasts? Because Bloodghasts are going to expedite things for me somewhat here, but I think I'm just going to lead with Gaia's Cradle here, because if it gets wastelanded, I have another one. This is the key card here. Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth. And so if we can just hold them off here, Collector Roof would be devastating if we can get this thing going. We are going to have to expose the Bazaar here. If it gets wastelanded, I will Bazaar looking for more lands, but we can hold them off one more turn here. I feel like we're going to win. We didn't. Damn. So close. Oh, come on, bruv. Don't do anything. I am going to Bazaar here because I have 2 cards I'm very interested in discarding in these 2. So I'm going to upgrade my quality here. I can get rid of a Root Wall almost assuredly here. I guess I can cast that. Not this turn, of course, but it could be hard cast off of Bazaar activation, but we can get rid of that for now. Well, unless my opponent has a flash creature, this could be very, very good for me. Because Collector Roof is really strong here. Now, they may have Solitude. They didn't. So all of their mana shut off except for the one, which is incredible for me. Ooh, wow, nice. Ancient Tomb right off the top. Okay. Out of all the things they could have done, Thalia is pretty low-key on the spectrum of things they could do here. I really do like all my cards in my hand, but what's more important here to get this thing in? Probably. I am somewhat interested in a Wasteland. Pretty awkward, guys. I'm going to get the Hex Drinker going here. A little bit awkward because my opponent has all that mana, but Hex Drinker is definitely a card that can win the game given the right opportunity, and I am going to start actively pumping it here, I think. I mean, we'll see what my opponent does. Okay, well, that doesn't do anything. I mean, it will draw my opponent cards, which is something. I'd love a Wasteland. Okay, now I think I'm going to cast Hollow One here. No, I guess I'm not. I guess I can actually literally cast a Hollow One, and I think that's probably a pretty good thing to do. And I can still Wasteland. Okay, I mean, we're being held back. My opponent can start drawing cards, but they're drawing me cards as well. Good timing on the Hollow One there after Lauren came in. So they are drawing. Okay. That does incentivize me to Bazaar here. Wow, what a good win for us. I was not feeling good about that. We do get a lot better post-board. Force of Vigor is pretty bad. Probably bring in a couple of Mindbreak Traps just to hedge a little bit. I did put Force of Vigors back in over Mindbreak Trap. I'm going to try it out. Every once in a while you get your opponent with Mindbreak Trap, but not always. And Chancellor of the Annex is very likely to be in, and it does make it a lot worse. Okay, that's an easy powder. I think we'll put a Hollow One back in. Okay. Okay, no Chancellor reveal, which is good. Our hand is a little bit vulnerable here. Oh, wow. Well, this was not great for me, but next turn we can dismember whatever they do. And hopefully they don't waste us here. I can't imagine they will, but maybe they will. I'm just trying to dodge an Archon, I think. There's the Archon. I'm going to spin. I can cast Oof next turn. How much do I want this Become Immense? It's something that could be relevant. My opponent has an Ancient Tomb here. Can I get rid of my Bazaar? I think that's really risky. Like, I like my 3 lands actively. Okay. It's odd man out. It would have been sweet, but I'm going to play the Cradle here. And we'll see what happens from here. And there's their spell for the turn. Yep, my opponent's not realizing. What a blessing. Okay. What did they go for? Yep, my Bazaar. So I am glad I made the decision to keep the second Bazaar, despite it's not really what my true focal point is right now. Unfortunately for me, my Wasteland comes into play tap. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dismember the Archon. And I think I'm going to Wasteland them off the tomb. And just have to once again hope that we've stifled our opponent a little bit. We really don't want to get Wastelanded here either, but okay, we didn't. Our opponent has another land. And let's see what they do. Another Archon. Okay. Bazaar comes into play tapped, unfortunately. And we pass turn here. So if we get lucky next turn, we can cast a Hogak. Actually, we won't be able to with the Archon. So we're a couple turns away, but if my opponent misses on doing anything here, and it looks like they did, we can maybe Collector Roof them. No. Not going to attack into a. I guess a Containment Priest, if they're trading with that, is probably fine. Maybe not a great thing not to do. Swords, yep. That's pretty rough on me. Okay. I am losing here. I think I Bazaar still. Dismember, nice draw. We need a good draw here, guys. Suboptimal for sure, but if my opponent bricks here, we're not in the worst shape. And trying to get a Hogak in is just absolutely paramount right now. But we've been floundering with the two Archons we've had to face. Opponent does have 3 mana here. Like, Solitude, okay. Thalia Guardian, I can take that for sure. Okay. I am going to Bazaar my upkeep. Oh, wonderful. We're going to get a Hogak here. Hopefully, unless they have a second Solitude. Yep, they do have a second Solitude. All right. They had to burn their hand to do it. Okay. Can we get them to brick for a turn, please? See what we can do. I mean, that's not great. It does allow us to beat down for 3. And I can wasteland them. So that's not the end-all, be-all. I cannot gack here. I'm going to Bazaar. Or Green Rootwalla. Okay, Bloodghast will do it if I find a land. It does open our options up here. Yep. Okay. All right, guys, we were going to get a Gak in. No vines to bring back, but that's okay. We were going to kill them next turn for sure. Nice win for us. We'll take it. Okay, here we are in round 2, guys. Mad Maxed Ernest. I believe they are playing Oath of Druids. We did not win the die roll, which is difficult because if they go turn 1 Oath of Druids, it puts us in a really awkward spot. Like, Oath is one of the more challenging matchups that we have, but we're not cold to it. We do have Force of Vigor. Like, if they go Mox Oath, we have a chance to try and resolve a Force of Vigor to remove it. Is there any world where this is conceivable? Mox, Rootwalla, Mox, Hexdrinker, tap Cradle 1-2. Now this does not beat. No, we have to mulligan this one. Much better. I think I put a Bazaar away. This gives us an option as an out to being able to deal with a Cradle. We're going to pitch or an Oath of Druids. So we're going to keep this one. I think the Bazaar goes back. I don't know if my opponent is playing Wastelands or not. But this is as we drew it up, right? Like if they go Orchard Oath here, we do have a chance to be able to remove those. Okay, they're having a big turn here by the looks of it. Karn the Great Creator doesn't overly impact anything here. For us, thank God we didn't keep our opener. How nasty would that have been? Let's see what they go and get here. Soul Guide Lantern. So Soul Guide Lantern is fine. I do think I just removed their two pieces here. It should resolve if they don't have a Force of Will. So they do have a Force of Will, which is a little bit awkward for us. But we got to get busy living here. That was really decent hitting the second root wall. I'm pleased with that. I'm not sure if my opponent is playing PO or not. Like if this is a PO Oath build. I think I'm willing to get rid of the Chalice here. The damage has kind of been done already. We're really looking for a Collector Roof off the top. And that's our turn. We know they have a Soul Guide Lantern, and Soul Guide Lantern is of limited value in this particular circumstance. So we have the option for Wasteland next turn if they go Saga. Yeah. I expect they're probably just going to burn this, is my guess, to try and draw a card. We really want to collect Roof, though. That's what we're after here. They can stand something up in front of one of my root walls if they would like. That does work. I really value my mana here. Okay. We need to Bazaar. 4 lands is not going to cut it. That's pretty funny. I mean, Beseech, you can go and get them a land. I don't really like that a lot. It's a really difficult decision for me, to be perfectly honest with you. I think I'm just going to get rid of the Become Immense here. I really do value my lands quite highly here. And I'm going to hold up a Boseiju, and I am going to attack into the Karn. Unfortunately for me, one of my root walls is not a basking root wall. That would have made a really big difference because I could have killed Karn the Great Creator. But I do need to worry about a Mycosynth Lattice here. And putting the card down to 2 means that if they're going to use it here, they have to get rid of it. Which, like Karn is only so much of a threat to me. It's like the Lattice Lock is what would scare me, right? Yeah, they're drawing a card. So we do have the ability to Boseiju if need be. Ultimately, I kept the Boseiju because of my fear of Oath of Druids. Okay, there's a basic. Okay, they're going to stand that up. That does work. But let's find a collector roof here. Is that too much to ask? Okay. So I'm presuming my opponent is playing Oath, and they may not be. Oh, that was a really good one, guys. I think I get rid of the Wasteland here and hold up a Seiju. And I believe this lets me cast a Hogak if I so choose to do so. Now, I can't really get at Karn very well here unless I attack the Soul Ring. Is that worth it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, getting Hogak in here is really serious. It's just a matter of what they've got on this Karn. Like, I can attack this thing down to 2. But something like an Ensnaring Bridge, it doesn't really impact me because I currently have the Beseech. So I think I'm just going to do this. Okay. And if they want to block with their Soul Ring, I'm all for that. I think that's a great trade, and I keep it down to... Okay, so they can't search here. And we do have Beseiju up. Okay, we're coming in for a lot of damage next turn. 17, 18, 19. So we have them dead by a long ways here. Okay, nice win for us. Now, I feel like my opponent is playing a fairly combo-ish version of this. I do like Hogak, but I don't think it's where I need to 100% be. This Become Immense is a way for me to be able to deal with an Atraxa. With a true dropper bet like 2 power or better. Well, I guess it has to be two or more. So like if, attacking with a hollow one or a Benjamin, they block it. We can pump up, I guess, and stay alive. If it's a hollow one, it would die, the Atraxa. So it's not perfect, but they go to Bloodghast. Let's try this out, guys. Okay, so this one is not going to really do it. Keep. So once again, like a quick Oath of Druids is problematic here, but okay. They did side in Lifeline. Okay, and that's not usually pretty bad for them if they do that, but we need some help off our Bazaar here, I think. I honestly don't know whether I put the root wall into play or not. I think what I need to do here, guys, look, this is really awkward, but the truth of the matter is that the only way we win is through creatures here. I'm going to play the 2 root wallas. If they have the Oath of Druids, we still have the Force of Vigor to be able to combat it. If that doesn't work, fail, they have a Force of Will, for instance, we still have a chance to find a Beseech. We do have 2 Beseechs with our Gaia's Cradle. This is not perfect, but I think sitting back and not, denying what we are is not a winning strategy. So let's try this. And who's to say they have the Oath of Druids here? And we have a misstep here if they try and go and get something, which is great for us. Sure, mine. Okay. I got no beef with getting going here. They're going to let me do it. Oh, Chalice of the Void is actually reasonably decent here. I wonder if they have Tabernacle. I wonder if that's why they're doing what they're doing. Could be. Yep. Get our Chalice in here, and let's see what happens. Like if they were sitting on an artifact there to try and tinker or something like that, that was a great Chalice for us. Yeah, got a Soul Guide. Orchard. Okay. Well, I don't think we need to do anything here. I could hard cast a Vengevine here and come off of Vigor, but I don't think that's what I want to do here, right? Like, it does deal a little bit more damage. This is my opportunity to do it, but I think it's risky. I am going to continue pumping here. Let's go. We could also hard cast Vigor there too, but we're trying to kill our opponent here, and okay. We can put them to 1 next turn. Okay, they did wasteland us here, which makes sense. I think the time has passed for us to play coy here. We're going to Bazaar and get going. Yeah. Guess it's probably worth still holding the Vigor here. And hopefully they don't find Tabernacle. Oath is not going to do it now, so maybe it was better to keep the second Bazaar. All right, nice 2-0 there. Okay, guys, here we are in round 3, excuse me. We're playing Jose, and Jose is a white initiative player. So unfortunately, we have fallen to the draw here, which is quite significant. I just have to hope that they don't have an Archon or an Anointed Peacekeeper. but I think that is unlikely. But let's hope. Yeah. Good news is that they did not have a, just a Thalia is great here for me. Oh, wow. So lucky. At least I'm going to get an activation of my Bazaar. No, I can't get my Ruby into play quite yet, but that's okay. Oh, so good. That is fantastic, guys. I'm so pleased to have two root walls because now I can set up for a collector roof, and I feel like they're going to wasteland me here, but maybe they're going to go ahead and play something like uh, an Archon or something of that nature. But that was a really good start for us, and I could see a world where this Become Immense is good here. But let's see. Okay, so they do have the Peacekeeper, and they're going to wasteland me. But we can double pump our root wall next turn, which is pretty good. I mean, if they wasteland me here, they're seeing my hand, right? So they maybe don't name Bazaar. Maybe they name Strip Mine. Hard to know. Let's see. Bazaar Baghdad. Yep. And they're not wastelanding because they want my cradle. Interesting. So what I can do is I can actually wasteland their wasteland, or I can wasteland their ancient tomb here. It does make my attack a lot worse, but it does slow them down. And that means if they want to wasteland my cradle, they maybe don't have much else going on. Now, I am giving up some equity doing that, but I'm going to take their ancient tomb here. I don't know if this is good or not, but I am going to attack in with Thalia, or my hollow one here. And if they block my hollow one, double block it, it's totally fine with me. Okay, they take the 4. We pass turn. We're kind of at their mercy here, but as long as we don't see an Archon, I feel decent. Archon is a problem. They got another Mox here. Yep, okay. No attack. So we're looking for another Gaia's Cradle here is what we'd really like. Okay, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth is actually pretty decent here. I am going to pay the mana with the Cradle to be able to flip my Bazaar here. Yeah. Fantastic. And this is going to allow us to cast a Collector Roof, which is going to shut their 2-mana off. Okay, nice win for us there. I am not a huge fan of Force of Negation here, guys, or Mind Break Trap, excuse me, but sometimes just getting your opponent on the play is just really good. I think I'm going to cut a Hogak and do, well, maybe I shouldn't. The question I have is, are they going to side in Leyline against me? And Jose's a pretty competent player. I think if that's the case, I think I get rid of this because this can still be cast off of Preachers. But then again, I think Bloodghast is just the easiest. Do something like this. On the draw, I think that the Mind Break Traps are, they're semi worth it. Like if you get your opponent, you're winning the game with it. Okay, how do I feel about this hand here? This hand is pretty rough, to be honest. On the draw, Triple Vine. I feel like we can do better here. This hand is really pretty ugly because I can't cast anything. Okay, this one I do like. I think I put the Hex Drinker away, and I think I put the Wasteland away. The Mox I can burn to a Chancellor of the Annex if I absolutely have to, but otherwise it gives me a Dismember. And who knows, maybe my Mind Break Trap gets turned on here as I suggested, as to why we're boarding it in here, and we just untap and we can hopefully win. I know you're probably thinking, wow, you shipped a 7-hand Bazaar hand, but that type of hand, especially when my opponent's going to go turn 1 something, 1, oh, darn. Okay. All right, that was a great draw for me. Let's get going. The Bloodghast was really nice. Now, I think Mind Break Trap's day has passed now. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the Hollow One. And hopefully they don't have the ability to Solitude it here. And I'm hoping they were sitting on Tabernacle. And we have the Mox. And whatever they play, like if they play an initiative creature here, we have the opportunity to just dismember it. So this does feel like that's what's going on here. This could be an Anointed Peacekeeper as well. I cannot do anything with this thing on the stack. So they're probably just going to name Dismember. And we will be able to pay for it, I believe, coming up here. Yeah, we will be able to because we have the Bloodghast coming in. Okay, I think we do Bazaar here. No reason not to, and see if we can hit something good. And those are pretty good. I guess the question is, do we want another Bazaar here, guys? Like, my opponent is going to Wasteland me, but I feel like the way we win this is just plowing ahead here. Let them have their Wasteland, and we're just going to try and outdo them on the ground here. Yep. They still could have Solitude in hand here, which is pretty tough for me actually if because my hand isn't great. I don't think I need to react quite yet. They're going to wasteland me here anyways, but I mean, we'll see what they do. Me having the pump for the Blazing Root Walla here on the Mox Ruby is pretty nice as well. So they actually do likely have a Tabernacle here is my guess. We'll get rid of that and open the doorway up here for them. And who's to say they have another land? Okay, they got the White Plume Adventurer here. Okay. That does give them a plane. So we are probably losing from here, unfortunately. Tab, yeah. Tabby is one of the ways that we definitely lose this here. Okay, cannot pay for them. And I do think we spin. Trying to get a blocker for the White Plume is fairly significant if I can find a Root Wall or something. Okay, that's great. Well, I have to take the initiative from them. Not just it just is what it is. They're going to be able to attack through me one way or another here. I unfortunately do not have a basic. I have been playing a basic up until this point in time, and it would be really nice if I did. But I have forgone that for some of the Hogaaks, etc. And nice to have the cradle here off the top. I am grateful that we can still play Magic here, because it's going to be really hard to win through the Tabernacle. And of note, my opponent does have a Mana Crypt in play. I cannot block. Sadly. We just need to get a blocker for this thing, and I feel like we're in, if we can just hit Root Wallas off our Bazaar, it's really strong. Now my opponent is got another White Plume. Okay, so they're moving into the trap. So this is getting hard for me here. Probably losing this one. Oh, they got Wasteland. Okay. Bazaar. Yep. We can pay. Collector Roof. That's not very good. I can't really get in here. My opponent's going to go into Archives. I think we're dead. 3 can chump block for 1 turn. They're going to archive and then they go into the throne. And what could I possibly draw to get me out of this? Nothing. I don't think I can win. Right, they just block here. Yeah, I mean, let's play. I mean, I think it's very reasonable to concede here, but I mean, we had a pretty good rebound from the tabernacle there with the cradle off the top, but pretty hard from here. All right, guys, my opponent was away from keyboard there for 3 or 4 minutes. Hopefully the pause wasn't too long. Yeah, they just have all the tools here. I don't think it really matters if I block this one here. We are dead next turn if I don't find a way to cast the Collector Roof here, but and they go into the Throne of the Dead 3. Very suboptimal. In hindsight, I probably should have let the Bloodghast go because the Bloodghast is irrelevant, and yeah, they're going to get us here. All right, we'll move on to game 3. And let's see what we can do. They had a really nice hand there. Definitely want the Chalice back in. I do think I'm going to take out my Mind Break traps here, come back and just do what I need to do. I'll just bring in a miscellaneous Force of Vigor, I think. Let's try this out. Did get us with Tabby there. It's a pretty awkward hand. What can I even do with this? I guess I keep it. I mean, let's see what we find off the top. Oh, they do have Leyline of the Void and Chancellor. Interesting. What's rough for me here is I don't really want to burn my Hollow One here. Okay. Not going to burn my Hollow One on the Chancellor. Not liking my chances here. I mean, that's the risk in keeping the hand that I did. And not to say we're over, but this one is a little better. I am somewhat concerned. I think I'm just going to play a Cradle here. Yeah, I'm going to play a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth here. I'm not sure this is very good. I still have to deal with the Chancellor here. But next turn I can Bazaar. I guess this is just, it should have been the Gaia's Cradle. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Had I played the Gaia's Cradle, that would have been a lot better for me. Let's hope that they forge here. They're scrying too. That's the correct thing. They totally know I have the Dismember here. Wasteland, yeah. It's a good one. And we can pay 1 for the Chancellor effect. Yep, and they got our Cradle. One of our Cradles, so that's pretty good. And they didn't play anything, guys. Oh, that was a really good draw. Let's see what they got. Ooh. So good, guys. Now look, if they have a Tabernacle and a Wasteland in a couple turns, it could be rough for us, but I really like our chances just went up exponentially here. Okay. They got the stash. They can hardcast a Solitude here, which is kind of a pain, but not the end-all be-all. Do you think we Bazaar here? Missed up. That's not actually terrible. So I think there's a very reasonable chance, 1, 2, 3, 4, that they actually have Solitude here. Because they didn't do anything, I think they have it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump like this. 1, 2, 3. And I'm not going to do it up to 7. And let's see what they do. Oh, they didn't have it. They're at 6 life here. They're going to cast a Chancellor. Chancellor's solid. Shouldn't be enough to save them here, though. Oh, wow, nice. Okay. Good win from us. Okay, guys, we'll take that one. Okay, guys, here we are in round 4, and we have a nice looking hand here. This would be so much better if we won the die roll, but that's okay. We're just going to roll with it. And what is Echo Baronin playing today? Is this a turn 1 an Ancestral in my upkeep? It is not. Man, let's go. No, they might have a Bowmaster there, but there's not much I can do to really play around with that. How much do I want this vigor? We got a bunch of bazaars. I think we get rid of the bazaar. Let's see if this resolves. It's very good for me. No, not to until they couldn't have removal. Force of negation. Okay. Force at will, force of negation. Yep, that is our turn. I'm not going to do anything else here. I can't do anything else outside of cast my mocks, but I don't think that's worthwhile doing. Wasteland, okay. Vengevine. Well, I think we spin and see what we can find. Not bad. Deck that has Wasteland. I think the Beseech is likely more valuable here. The question that I ask myself is, do I wait a turn to try and animate those two vines? And I do think I do. Yeah. I'm not going to play a land here. Well, I did play that. I guess the Bazaar. I wonder if this is Oath of Druids. Well, I don't think I tapped the Bazaar here. They're like, what's up? A Hull Breacher is up, guys. That's the reason not to Bazaar here. And so we're paid off for our patience. The question I have is, what are we playing against? Tropical Island Wasteland. Really hard to know what my opponent's playing here. The Flooded Strand, I think, is the card that's throwing me more for a loop here. But of course, you could run Flooded Strand in any blue mana producing deck. Really hard to know what's correct. Maybe just bring in a couple Dismembers to hedge a bit. Probably could get rid of Chalice. Maybe just bring in some Dismembers and try this, guys. Just so hard to know, right? Like, if it's Oath of Druids, this is not a good move, but I think this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, this is a nice looking hand for sure. Okay, we're going to keep this one. They did bring in the ley line, and as it turns out, the ley line actually looks reasonably solid against me here. All right, let's see if they play an Oath of Druids. Tarmogoyf, we're playing against Bug. So I am going to try and destroy this here. And what do I want to get rid of, the GAC or the Hex Drinker? I feel like Hex Drinker is really good in this matchup if I can get it to go, but I'm quite a ways away from that. So I think I'm going to attempt to do this here now. And if they have a Force of Will, that's pretty reasonable. They do. Okay. Yeah, there's a Dismember. And I think I'm going to do that. Well, I still have an opportunity to do it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm kind of in a bad spot here with the ley line, but I mean, the way my hand was shaped. So we got rid of that. Of course, Become Immense is terrible too, but we can just pitch that this turn if need be. Oh, that's a pretty good draw. And now we can just start, I mean, we'll see what we draw next turn. I'm not going to Bazaar right now. I'm going to play the Cradle out to insulate myself from Tabernacles. But yeah, my hand is, if I can find some green root wallets or even a Collector Roof would be pretty devastating to them here right now. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Vigor. Oof. 1, 2, 3. If I find a root wall here, I can Vigor their stuff. I'm going to do it. Funny enough, I cannot get past the Deathrite here. All right, they let it resolve. I cannot attack. So I don't know how I feel about my position right now. They do have 3 cards, and they're going to cast something here with all likelihood. Maybe not. Bizarre. Amazing. We had a Basking Root Wall, and that's exactly what we're looking for, guys. Let's just find a Collector Roof now. Oh, so good. I am going to attack, and I'm not going to cast my Hollow One pre-combat. And the reason is I think my opponent is going to be enticed by Force of Vigor on my Mox Emerald and my Hollow One here. Next turn, we can start attacking with my Basking Root Walla if all goes well here. I'm smelling a Force of Vigor here. No, okay. Assassin's Trophy, maybe? Swords. Okay, they are playing some 4-color goodness here. All right, there we go. They have Force of Will now. Okay, Oko. My opponent has 1 land still. We do need some help, unfortunately. We're having trouble getting through the Deathrite Shaman here. But we are going to spin here. I would have loved to have that Dismember, but I'm not averse to having another Root Walla here because we draw something like a Vine. We can cast it. Force of Vigor will now be live. Maybe they'll misstep this. I don't know. Collector Roof, once again, would be solid. The Hex Drinker would be amazing. Hex Drinker would be one of my best draws, actually. Fine. Okay. Well, we're going to do that. We're going to get going. This is some significant pressure on my opponent. Do I get in here to sneak in an extra point of damage? I don't think so. But maybe I do. I don't know. It's probably not worth it. No. I'll just do this. I have another Swords here. Yeah, it looks like it. All right. Well, Echo Baronin is out of stuff here. They can gain 2 life off their Tarmogoyf if they so choose. Yeah, that's pretty decent, actually. So again, we're going to spin. Oh, hate to get rid of that Hex Drinker. It's just nice having the 2 beat sticks here. Like, these things are going to hit for some damage, so it's pretty solid for me. And just something that can get through the death rights, right? Just need them to brick a little bit more. The Goyf was a really good one. Damn. Gonna continue spinning. Okay, that is not great. Can't get through now. So we are officially losing this. Can't get through. Yeah, the Goyf was literally the one rip I didn't want them to get. But we're not out of this. Like, Hex Drinker is really what we're looking for. If we rip a Hex Drinker here, I feel like we're in pretty solid shape. Another option is we could get rid of this ley line, but I am giving them mana to do it. But getting Gak and stuff going here is not terrible. But I want a Hex Drinker. That's what I want. And they are being harmed by their own stuff here. Wasteland is pretty tough on me too, but I think I'm going to Beseech their land at end of turn. I think I'm just going to get busy doing that. 3, so it eats this, and they eat this, and then I do 3, 4, 5, putting them to 8. If they eat this, I can attack with another one. I think I'm going to do that. It's super awkward because I can't Beseech end of turn, but maybe I don't need to do that now. Another option is I play the Beseech, and I don't have to do that. So let's see this. They eat this, right? They eat this one. I hit them for 3, 4, and they eat these 2. That's not a winning strategy. I think I have to get Bazaring here. I'm not happy to give my opponent lands, but this Bazaar their ley line is getting in my way. And the longer this game goes, the worse it gets for me. So there is the strip mine. I'm going to take my Cradle. Do I actually want to Beseech this? That's the question. Of note, right? They've got Deathrite Shamans to start eating my graveyard. I don't think I'm gonna. I should have kept the second Gaia's Cradle. Okay, that's a good one. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to play the Hex Drinker here. If I can get this thing out of instant range, it's a risk doing it. But if I can get that thing out of range, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like if I find another Gaia's Cradle here, okay, they're going to take my Bazaar. Makes sense. Cradle? Ooh, oof. Okay. Here we go. Any land off the top is really good that can produce mana. Inevitably, it will win me the game if that's the case. They might start pressing their advantage here. Time walk, yeah. Four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to take it this time. I really want my mana to be able to get this Hexdrinker going. Like if I rip a Gaia's Cradle, I'm missing 2 of them already. It's pretty good for me. Yeah, I'll take it. Okay. Do I play it now is the question. I don't think it's worth it. Oh, I forgot to pump my guy last turn. That was a bit of a mistake. That was a big mistake. I'm going to start draining. Yep. Yep, they're on the kill here. Next turn, though, if I can make this Hexdrinker a 4/4, that was, I think I did miss a pump, and if that's the case, then I think it was pretty lousy. I will block here. Okay, it's Cradle. All right, let's try. Yes. Good discard equity here. All right. Another Root Walla. I am going to attack with my 4/4 here because it's not advantageous for them to try and block it. And next turn we can start pumping our Basking Root Wallas up. Hopefully this doesn't die. I don't know if they have a flash thing or something like that, but it is a 4/4 protection from instant, so it's not easy to kill. All right. Oko would be unfortunate here. Okay, Lavinia. I totally can live with Lavinia. Don't think they want to attack with the Tarmogoyf here because I don't think they want to jump my Hexdrinker. So this was a good hit here, this one. I think I just cast this and start blasting him with my Root Wallas. I think so. Look, this is where we're at. I don't think this is the end-all be-all for me, but I think we go in. No, I don't think we can. I think I just start pumping my guy up here. And next turn I can try and win this way. Like this thing is going to kill in 2 turns, and my opponent can't really drain me effectively. I mean, they can put me down to 12 here, tap both their guys, but I think the worst thing that my opponent could do to me right now would be a Tabernacle. Also, Oko would be really bad too when I'm so close to Hexdrinker. I think if I get to untap, I'm in really good shape. Like if without the Oko. All right, yeah, we got there. Nice win for us. Let's see what we would have drawn. Yeah, we would have been able to get it pumped up for sure. All right, nice win. Okay, guys. Didn't win the die roll. It looks like we're playing Dredge against Barris here. I mean, I can't ship this. It's going to be a tough game in game one to beat Dredge unless they go really low. But we've got a pretty good board today against Dredge. Of course, they kept 7. Okay. I mean, my hand is not great, but hopefully they don't have Dredgers, and we buy a little bit of time that way. I don't think Barros runs main deck Wastelands. Okay, they hit 2 Dredgers, unfortunately, and they got a Grief. Okay. Grief is not relevant. They're probably going to take my Mox, is my guess. Maybe my Force of Vigor if they do have a hollow one. Would be a reasonable take. But our hand is pretty generically good. Okay, so they do have a hollow one. That's the only reason they would take Vigor there. Okay, just the one. Let's peel a Wasteland. Okay, that was a really good hit for us. So I'm going to waste them here, and hopefully they don't have another one. Don't think I need to worry about Chalice too much here, so I'm not going to play my Mox. And just being able to slow them down is big game here. If they don't have another Bazaar, there's a chance we can crawl back into this game. Okay, they don't. Let's see what we can do here, guys. All right. Now, what I can do here, which is kind of interesting, is I can play my 2 Mox in here. Oh, interesting. So here's the thing. If they had a Noxious Revival, I think they would have done it already. I'm in quite a bit of trouble. I think that this is probably just a fine place to use my mental misstep here. Get this thing in. They know I have the Mox. And this way we can... I don't think I'm going to play the green one here. I think I'm going to use it as discard fodder. I trade 2 for 1 no matter what happens here, so I think this is what I'm going to do. There's the Icarid, so now the prized amalgams are coming. Yeah, they're not going to trade. Yeah, so we're just a little too far behind here. And that's a good draw. I think we're going to try and get some Gax going here. That's where I'm at. Did not get a Gak. But Hollow One is strong. Now we sit back, and this will hold their amalgams back at least temporarily. We have to get lucky, guys. But Hogak is a card that can help us here. It's going to have to be now, though. Yeah, they did get a Silver Smoke, so I will block. The good news is they don't have bridge from belows. So we kind of need to find a Hogak here now, I think. Because that's a lot of stuff coming my way. Or a Cradle could be good too, Gaia's Cradle. Chalice is not a good one, unfortunately. So we're in a pretty bad spot now. We've just fallen too far behind, even on the slow Dredge here. Now, my opponent has 1 Golgari Thug left. Okay, so there's another Silver Smoke and another Icarid. So we kind of need to find some help here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block. Actually, what I'm going to do, it's this. Put this on this. And we're going to take some damage here. That's the problem I have. I think that I do block here. Do I want to trade with an amalgam knowing it's going to come back next turn? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to do this. Actually, you know what is better? We'll just use the basking root walla here. Yeah, let's try this. Going to take a natural draw. There's a Vengevine. That's a card that could help me if I can get it into play. 1, 2. Right. Do I try and cast? Do I? No, I can't. Gonna play this. We're gonna spin again. Yeah, I guess I should have kept my root wallas around, shouldn't I have? Yeah, we die now. The Icarid. If they hit anything, we die. But we're gonna get a double spin next turn. Okay, that's not the worst. I guess it's bad in the sense it has evasion. And I guess we'll block here. We'll go to 1. We'll pump. Not my tightest play, guys. Let's see what we can do here. Come immense is not the answer. Vine is not the answer. Hollow one is not going to do it. Okay, so Lord Barris got us game 1. We were really lucky to even be in that game. But now we are post board. We made some good sideboarding decisions today because I normally have surgical extraction and I've brought in Leyline of the Void today instead. And specifically against Dredge, Leyline of the Void is a lot better against them. I don't think we want this. I don't think I want Force of Vigor. Like if they want to bring in Leyline of the Void against me, I think that's completely fine. Despite it does impact me somewhat, more so with this build than others. Beseech does hit their bazaars. So my mapping is a little bit off here. That one goes without saying. So we need to cut 2 more cards. I think Bloodghast is probably the best cut here. Because if they do bring in Graveyard Hate, the Bloodghast is the worst card on my deck. And Hogak does pitch to Endurance. I think that is a selling point. I think this is good. One of my logics with Leyline of the Void, and one of the reasons I've audibled towards not playing it in the past, is this is a deck that cannot support it in reference to you can't protect it. And Force of Vigor, of course, is a card that is coming in for Lord Barris. And, you know, if they get the Leyline of the Void, it's really bad. So you need it to do some work for you in order for it to take over the game. But it certainly can do that if they don't actually have the Force of Vigor right away and they have to dig for it, and you can remove their Bazaar or whatever be it and take over the game that way. So that's the idea behind it. Now, this is not a hand we can keep. I guess what I could do is I could play Leyline of the Void. I could cast Basking Root Walla. I guess I should have took out these collectors. Boy, that was a really bad decision. And then we can have hard cast Endurance up. But it doesn't seem good. I think we can just do better. And this one's way worse. They've kept 7 again. We just have to mulligan. We just literally cannot keep that hand. Have to powder that one. So what do we want to put away here? Hex Drinker, Vengevine, and probably... I don't mind putting the Gag back. Another powder. I have to go to 3 here. Okay, this is a key. As much as it pains me, I think what I have to do is I have to put away like something like this. I think it has to be this way. And, you know, sometimes Leyline of the Void can just get you there. And I mean, this is essentially where we're going to be, right? So, is there a world where we want a Bazaar here? I don't think so. I'm probably going to get wastelanded by Barris here is my guess. So I'm just going to pass turn, and the likelihood that the Vine comes in on turn 1 is not good, but it does improve next turn if we get an opportunity to do that. So hopefully Barris does not have anything going here. No hollow ones, no Force of Vigor. And just digging for it, because the ley line is significant. So to me, this indicates they're looking for the Vigor. Grief. Okay, well, this doesn't matter either way. So they got rid of 2 green cards. And let's see if we can rip a Wasteland off the top, guys. Okay. Chance at maybe bringing the Vine back next turn if we don't get Wastelanded. Okay, we did not get Vigored there, which is good. So let's see if we can dodge Wasteland, Strip Mine, Force of Vigor here. Hollow one I will accept. 3 cards now. No Wasteland. All right, that's a bad one. Okay, well, I mean, I'm pretty disappointed here. Do I keep the Beseech? Or do I keep the Blazing Root Walla? I don't feel good about it, guys. I think I'm gonna play this out this way, and I'll decide next turn if I need to play the Mox or. I mean, I just actively want to get that Vine going here, so let's just hope they don't Wasteland me here. We're asking a lot of our opponent here not to do anything, but taking 4 damage is totally fine in this situation. We just need them not to be able to Vigor. There it is. They did not Vigor. I am going to play this out now, and we're going to hope that we can get the Vine going. Okay, I can trade with a hollow one now, unless they misstep. Yeah. All right, I mean, if that's what they're doing. Two cards in hand, 3 now. They do have the other Bazaar. Okay. So we're taking some hits here, guys, but oh, hollow one is really good for them. Okay, Cradle. I don't think I have the luxury of playing that this turn. I'm going to have to chump block. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take 8 here. And we're just going to try and get back in this game here with a really nice Bazaar next turn. That's the hope. Well, let's go. We didn't hit. We need to hit off this Bazaar here right now. We need a Root Walla. We did hit. All right. We are alive for one more turn. And we do have a chance next turn with the double Bazaar to be potentially pull back in here. A little bit lucky there. Or unlucky, maybe. I'm not sure, but okay, they're going down to 1 card here. They're probably looking for a Wasteland. I have to double block, and pumping does nothing here. So let's Bazaar. And I think we have to draw in case we draw a red Root Walla. And we lose. All right. Well, little bit unlucky. We mulliganed to 3 that game, and we did keep into the game, and we churned through a lot of our deck here. But we just never found the pieces that we needed in order to be able to get back into the game. But, I mean, Dredge is a hard deck to beat, and I wasn't mulliganing to Leyline, but I needed to have a Bazaar opener that had some viability to it. And unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't happen. Okay, guys, here we are in round 6. We've won the die roll. Sand looks pretty good. I mean, pretty vulnerable to combo, but we are on the play, and I can't see myself shipping this one. I think what obviously we'd love to be able to get the Vintage going here turn 1. That would be ideal. I would love to have a Chalice of the Void if that doesn't happen, and I would settle for a Force of Vigor as well. So we have some level of interaction, and we don't mind a Wasteland turn 1 from our opponent because we have a second Bazaar if we are unable to accomplish the bind going off. So we didn't get there. What do we want to discard here? It's hard to know. I really don't want to discard the Gaia's Cradle. But I can hardcast Oof next turn with the Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. And if they play Saga, I need to have a Wasteland. This is really tough, boy. And I just can't, in good conscience, get rid of the Bazaar because I don't know what we're playing against. And then a Wasteland all of a sudden is going to look really bad if I can't Bazaar next turn. It's a tough discard, I'll tell you, because I think the Gaia's Cradle could be good in the right circumstance. Okay. Hull Breacher's a scary card here for sure. Oh, they're just going to beseech me right away. Oh, no. Yep. All right. Well, think I'm dead here. I got Tinker. Okay, let's see what the Tinker brings. Citadel. Let's hope it bricks. They've played a land already. All right. Well, I've got a chance here. I think I just have to play a Collector Roof. Oh. Collector Roof it is. Here we go. No Force of Will, brutal. All right. No Force of Vigor there. I mean, that was an option, is to go for the Vigor. But let's see. They just Yogg Will now. Yep, and we just lose instantaneously. Yep, all right, they got us. Yep. Now we know what we're playing against. So we definitely want Mindbreak Traps. We get a lot better post-board. The question is do we want Leyline of the Void? Or do we want Endurances? I think I like Endurance. It has more applicability here. Definitely want Chalice. So we need to cut one card here. I think I'll cut a Cradle. It's kind of scary to do that, though. I think we cut Hex Drinker. I like this better. A little bit of an anticlimactic plan for top 8 round 1, or game 1. But that's all right. I feel like we're pretty set up here for the post-board games. They're certainly better than we were. I mean, Collector Roof is going to be strong against these type of decks. Dark Ritual is a scary card here. I honestly don't know what's better, Endurance or Leyline of the Void. Maybe it's just Leyline. I'm not 100% sure. But Endurance has more applicability. Like, one, you can't Force of Negation it. It's a sneak attack play. They don't see it coming, and so they're not necessarily playing around it. And that's an important thing to discuss here. And Leyline of the Void, of course, is just terrible if you don't have it in your opener. Okay, guys. It's pretty awkward, but we do have a turn 1 Collector Roof with a Cradle here, and if this gets countered, the Collector Roof, then we can hard cast a Endurance. I think I like it. It's a risky keep. We're probably going to need some help off the top to make this viable. Yeah, like that's good for me that they've chosen to do that. Hopefully they don't have Mindbreak Trap here. Like, do I actually... Look, never said it was good, but we have a chance here. Okay, my opponent is not playing anything out. That's good for me. Bizarre. How nice is that, guys? I mean, I don't know what I'm going to draw here, but going to get a hollow one into play here. Now we can pay for a Tabernacle ×2 if necessary. I don't think I want a Bizarre here. All right, got a win. I love that my opponent sided in Leyline of the Void there against us because we had nothing in our deck outside of Vengevine that was impacted by it. But I like the way we're set up here. I don't think I'm going to do anything different. I think the discussion around whether endurance or leyline of the void is the correct thing to have in my deck right now is an interesting discussion, and I think there is more merit for leyline on the draw than there is the play. Um, but I'm not sure that it is better than endurance in general for the reasons that we discussed in our previous like sideboarding for game two. I think the sneak attack of the endurance is a worthy discussion. Now, this can be countered with a force of will of note, and the leyline cannot. I don't know. It does pitch to force of vigor as well. Like, this is a little bit of an awkward hand that we have. We don't have any interaction here. But I can set this chalice at 1 to prevent Dark Ritual. The problem is that if we die here on turn 1, it's pretty bad for us. Can I actually keep this hand? I do have a Wasteland. Turn 1 chalice, I could set it at 1. Just not great for my root walls moving forward, but I don't have any interaction though. That's the problem. I don't think this is good enough, guys. Like, if they pass and I find something like a Collector Roof off the top of the Bazaar in my top 3 cards or something, it's pretty damn good. But I don't have any Mind Break traps. I don't have an Endurance in my hand. Anything to pitch. I don't know. Chalice is not that great on the draw. But they require like a 3-card combo, right, to go off. They need to have like they need 4 cards, right, to be able to do it. So they have kept. They need to have a Beseech. They need to have a Dark Ritual or a Lotus, one of those two. A black mana and an artifact to make it all go. I think I'm going to keep this against my better judgment. I can't be scared of the turn 1. Like, if they can turn 1 me both games, then it's a tribute to a good hand from them. But I don't think it's that high prevalence to happen. Well, that's a good one. Dark Ritual, okay. Providence. All right, I can live with that, I think. Like, Chalice is, hopefully we can find something that's going to interact here. First of all, hopefully we get up to untap. As I said, like a Collector Roof off the top, Mind Break Trap is really good. And we're going to be able to get a Root Wall in play here. Like, hopefully they don't have a land in hand and they're just literally going all in on this Necropotence. Like, how good would a Mind Break Trap have been there? And they can go pretty deep here. Like, we're going to need to disrupt them here this next turn, but we'll see what happens. This is far more preferable than dying. Force of Vigor is a thing too, guys. Not that I like Force of Vigor that much, but let's see. Okay, my opponent's drawing a couple cards here. Sorry, I don't know if they're double queued or what, but they're going deep here. Well, 7's not that deep, but I mean, let's see what happens here, guys. Me getting this Chalice down could be really solid. But there's also possible that they've got Force of Will or Force of Negation in hand. Look, I think from our standpoint, us resolving the Chalice at 0 is decent because it does shut off Black Lotus. It's also solid at 1 as well. So I think what would be ideal for us is to find some combination of Collector Roof, Mind Break Trap, and I think those are the two main cards that I'm looking for here, because if I can find Collector Roof and resolve Collector Roof, it allows me to set a Chalice at 1, right? And that shuts off all of their avenues of like turboing out on me. So they've gone down to 11 cards here. And let's see what they do here. They're going to have 13 cards, and that allows, we have the fast mana to be able to employ those strategies here. But if we don't find those cards, it's a little bit more sketchy. Like, we are going to see 3 cards off the top, which is pretty good. And this little guy here is going to be able to, well, not if I resolve a Collector Roof, but I was going to say is going to be able to start chipping in for 3 damage a turn. But we'll have to see, guys. I'm just not sure. I suspect this Chalice is going to have to go on 0. Mental Misstep would also be helpful. But I'm not liking my chances. I mean, my opponent just drew 9 cards. That's a lot of cards to sort through, but there's no guarantee that they drew what they needed. So there's, despite this probably not likely, we still have a chance. If we don't get it this turn, maybe next turn, we will be able to employ our strategy. And of course, if we do get 2 turns somehow, some way, there is a chance that we're going to be able to get something going out of our graveyard, like Vengevines, to be able to deal a lot of damage here. So we have a lot of awkward tensions right now because we need to be able to control what our opponent is doing first and foremost, but we also need to apply some pressure to be able to kill them. And despite our hand is decent looking, we have a lot of work to do. And even if we somehow lose this game, we have a chance to top 8. We'll still be 4-2. We did start out 4-0 in the tournament. So there's a possibility that I would say a pretty good chance we're going to get in, but we obviously want to punch our ticket based on a win, not on a loss. Okay. So let's see what they're exiling here. Citadel. Pyrrhic. So they're getting rid of combo pieces here. So let's see what we can find. Well, that's bizarre. So we can actually hold up endurance here. And the fact we get to punch in for some damage is pretty cool here. Now, I think it's pretty reasonable my opponent might have a force of will here. But I just have to hope this Chalice is going to be good. My question is do I set the Chalice at 1 or do I set it at 0? That's the issue we're faced with here. It's very hard to say what is the correct line here, guys. I've just been parsing over other lists. My opponent has already used a Dark Ritual. The likelihood that they found one of the other 3 in the 44 is pretty low percentage. They do have a lot of other fast mana. However, they do have one of their best already in play. I think against my better judgment, I'm going to play out and I'm going to set the Chalice at 0 and we're going to see what happens from here. Because that does set off their most broken plays here. And I'm going to play this out. Like, I can't play around my Rig Trap if they have that. Play the Lotus here. They already can see that I can cast Collector Roof. I'm going to set the Chalice at 0, and this is my play. And if they force of will this, then I think that's reasonable because that opens the door for endurance. the most likely way that our opponent is going to try and kill us is through a Yogg Will. So my opponent is pausing on the Chalice to see how effectual this is going to be. And like if they're on a Black Lotus and they don't have a Dark Ritual, like the Chalice could be really good here. Hard to know what's correct around this, but my opponent saw a lot of cards and they've probably sculpted their hand pretty good, but we've had a pretty good turn here. They're not drawing a card off the top. This is what they have, and so us finding the endurance and having the Lotus to be able to cast it is pretty big game. So my opponent could be thinking long and hard about whether they want to force this, or they, of course, just could be double queued. That's a possibility as well. And let's hope it's that they're thinking about whether they want to counter this or not. I mean, I hope they don't have a counter in hand in general, but... Okay, my opponent did Force of Will the Chalice. So let's see what happens here. I mean, Citadel, they're down to 6 life, so it's not, the best line for them to do, perhaps. So I wonder if they're going to do a Yogg, and that my Endurance is going to resolve. So is this just a Dark Ritual again? Okay, so we did make a bad decision, unfortunately, but we'll see if they just go for a Yogg Will and they don't have a Force. Like, we can resolve. Like, if this is a Yogg Will kill. Oh, so our Chalice at 0 was way better. Let's see. If they play another card here, it means they don't have Force of Will. Well, I mean, I guess they could still hard cast a Force of Will with the Black Lotus. But they need to have a combo card in hand to go off here. Otherwise, I kill them next turn. This is a Yogg Will. If it is, I think we're probably going to win unless they have a pact in their hand or something like that. Okay, so they're going to Demonic Tutor. Nothing I can do there. And let's just see. Flusterstorm can't stop what I'm doing. They may be trying to play around a Thoughtseize. Crazy. All right, well, that's a smart one. I guess we have to do it now. And Yogg Will can set up a Tendrils, right? One might just be enough. Yep, I think they're going to get me here. I go down to 4. But even if it's not lethal Tendrils, they still have a lot of life to work with the Necro, but we are hitting pretty hard. That was a pretty nice play by my opponent. I guess the Chalice would have won the game. Right, I just increased the storm count too by doing this, but I kind of have to have it in play. I need to take the graveyard away from them where it's 100% deterministic. Let's see what happens. It's probably... Oh, wow, we got there! Couldn't hold my excitement back. I just felt like we were 100% deterministic dead, but We will take that one. I am still learning the nuances of these Beseech decks and kind of what their breadth they can do and how to best sideboard against them. And I have no idea if that was correct. Feel free to leave your comments, guys, in the chat there with reference to how you would have approached it and then why. But I think that our logic made sense on this, and the endurance probably was good there, taking away their kill. So we'll take that, guys. See you in top 8. So we did make top 8, and there's a look at our top 8. Two of the guys we played already in Lord Beerus at 6-0 on Dredge and Echo Baronin on Bant Fish. And I don't know what I know what Unlucky Monkey is typically a Jeskai player, like a Jeskai Lures player. Sprouts, I think, has some number of range. I know them mostly as a bug player, but I think, of course, they've been playing PO for the last several months, anyways. And Wombo Combo, actually, we played 3 of them. Wombo Combo made top 8 as well. We just played them, and they're playing Beseech the Mirror Combo. So we know 3 out of the 7 for sure. So let's see where we land, guys, and let's get her done. All right, instantaneously back for a match with Wombo Combo. That is a mulligan. That is a mulligan too. Jesus. It's a pretty bad hand, but we're going to have to powder it. I'm grateful that we don't have to go to any lower currently. I would have preferred to play almost anybody else other than Wombo Combo in round 1. This is just overt combo is truly my deck's weakness, and this is a deck that has the ability to turn 1 you. So I think it's a tough match, but we get a lot better post board. Like, I feel like it's the kind of deck that can fold to a Mindbreak Trap or a Collector Roof. We're going to powder this one. They kept at 6. Going to keep it, guys, and I'm just going to try and disrupt my opponent here. This is the game plan. They've mulled here. We're going to play the Yavimaya out, and we just have to hope. Like, if they go Dark Ritual into something, and hopefully hopefully our force of vigors are good, and secondly, hopefully our mental misstep ends up being a big player. And the truth of the matter is, guys, is that we're going to need to get really lucky off the top of our library. But if my opponent expends a lot of resources trying to combo off or whatever be it, then we've got a chance. Of course, I 100% will counter a Dark Ritual if it comes up. Or an Ancestral for that matter. Okay, that was pretty good. It means that I have a chance to cast Collector Roof. Should I draw it, which could be good. I think it's the thing I want number 1 off the top of my library right now. To be clear, I don't like my chances, but let us see. I think what I should have done, I don't know what I was thinking. I can't remember. I have to go back and watch this video. But did I put a Collector Roof away? Because if I did put a Collector Roof away and kept the second Force of Vigor, that was a really big mistake. Yeah, my opponent is definitely double queued here. Very interesting line, though, for them to play an Underground Sea and nothing else. Like I don't know if they're going to Ancestral or Vampiric or Mystical here or something like that, but that would be really weird for a combo deck just to do that. But I will take it. All right, opponent is back, so we're going to counter that. We're not going to let them have that if we can help it. We kept that meant this hand based on misstep and vigor, so we got it. We got to make it work, guys. Yep. They didn't play a land. I'm fucking getting going here, guys. I am doing what this deck needs to do, which is apply some pressure. 3 damage a turn, and let's just find another green card or a wasteland or something. Oh no. Did we blow it? The Cabal Ritual. That's what this feels like. I guess it could be a Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor. That is far worse than a Cabal Ritual. Probably just a Lotus. Yeah, okay. Yogwill. Okay. How does it go from here? I guess they just, yeah, Beseech combo me here now. Easy. Tinker. Okay. So I made a mistake not vigoring, like playing the root wall, but I had to do something, guys. Just tendrils, yeah. Yeah, no, they just put a tendrils on the top. Yep. Boom. Valky, okay. My opponent's running me up, and they don't need to do that, but they're choosing to do that. I'm going to make my opponent kill me here. I don't typically employ doing these sort of things, but my opponent is double queuing and playing really slow. So they can show me they have a kill condition here. Interesting to know whether that was a greedy line for me casting the Basking Root Wall and coming off Vigor. Probably was. I felt like my opponent was my reason for that doing that, guys, was that my opponent may have been relying on the Vampiric Tutor to get themselves out of a weak hand. That was my logic, and I took my chance of trying to get my root wall in and hope to draw something the following turn. Get in front of it. Now, this is a type of matchup where the time is not likely going to matter, but you never know. My typical outlook against opponents, like if they're being respectful and playing at a reasonable pace, I usually don't ever make somebody play it out when they have unless they have a mana crypt in play or something like that. But I I also feel like when on Saturdays and tournaments and people are double and triple queuing, I've never liked this, and I feel like it's pretty disrespectful. for people to make the entire tournament wait when they're double, triple queuing and things like that. And based on that, I usually will make my opponent play it out. Now, this is my opponent's deck is really fast. That was game one. They wasted 10 minutes. 10 minutes of time there. So I still am not sure what is correct here, guys. Hex Drinker is not great. Endurance or Leyline? I feel like this deck does not win well without their graveyard. I am almost wondering if Leyline of the Void is just better. I don't know. I think this worked last time. I'm going to try it. And if we can get the game, maybe. I am strongly considering putting ley lines in. There are pros and cons to both. Ley line, it cannot be countered. That's the main thing. And they know it's there and they can play around it, perhaps. Those are the two features. But I think that this deck basically wins using its graveyard. It is its best win condition outside of actually breaching into Citadel. The other one is this is a sneak attack. You don't see it coming as much. And yes, they know that I have them now, but it can be countered. But it also pitches. It's an extra card in my hand, one, because I don't have a ley line that's going to play. Extra card in my hand. It pitches to Force of Vigor in a pinch. There's pros and cons. And of course, it does beat down. We won the die roll. Now, this hand is pretty awkward. But I do have a turn 2 I can cast Collector Roof. I have Force of Vigor up, and I have Endurance up. So this is a reasonable keep. I'm not thrilled to Bazaar here, but I'm going to do it. Discard whatever I draw, and maybe the Beseech or something like that. We have to get some sort of a clock going. Okay, that's pretty good. Gaia's Cradle. How do I feel about Gaia's Cradle? I think I dumped Cradle and Beseech. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Right or wrong, I think this is the line. So not a lot of pressure on my opponent. They did mulligan here. Saga, yep. Okay. Ooh, Mind Ray Trap was a good one. I think I cast Collector Roof here, guys. Like, Time Walk is a risk, but Collector Roof resolving is pretty hard on them. Or that's my hope anyways. I couldn't vigor this. Like, if they Time Walk, I might have to. That's the risk of this, so they have Dismember. Yep, okay. Yep. One. I am going to attempt to Vigor here, I think, guys. Or do I need to? I can kill this. No, I don't think I need to. I'm going to get rid of that. They can make a 2/2 construct here. I do think I Bazaar. Yeah, that's the risk, right? Now I don't really want to discard a hollow one either. Do I get rid of these mind break traps? That's the question. Yeah. I am going all in on the force of vigor here, guys. This is not optimal, but I feel like my opponent. This is one way we can beat them is if they don't have the counter spell here, and we take all their mana away from them. It's really strong. Did work. Okay. Now their academy still taps for mana because of my cradle. And they still have 5 cards in hand. So I'm not feeling amazing here, but we got a chance. Okay. Sorry, my opponent's taking really long breaks in between their plays here. So we'll see what happens now. The fact that this turns their academy on is a pretty big deal. But let's see. Like sitting on endurance just didn't feel good to me. Like we need to start deploying our game plan here of churning our bazaars and trying to find other root wallas and like sitting on just not tapping my bazaar and sitting on the endurance. My opponent knows I have it, so oh no. Okay, Beseech the mirror. The good news is they have nothing they can sacrifice. So they're going to put it in their hand. Probably an ancestral, but maybe it's a Yogg-Will. So we need to find one of our remaining 2 mind break traps here. I think that's probably our best bet. Or a Chalice of the Void would be good. Collector Roof would be very good. Collector Roof could buy me some time here. Wasteland would maybe be solid. Because Wasteland on Underground Sea means that they don't have a blue source in hand, potentially. I think I'm just going to naturally draw here. And that was not one I want. Yeah, it's too late now. The likelihood of me hitting two root walls off the top is very low. And I'm just going to naturally draw again. Him having this dismember was really clutch. It should be an easy kill for them from here. I guess a Tendrils doesn't actually kill me. Funny enough. But I guess they can string Beseeches together. That might work. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that doesn't really matter, I don't think. They hard casting a Citadel here? Okay, here's the Beseech. Let's see what they do now. We're at 6 Storm. They didn't sacrifice anything. Tinker, okay. Sphinx. Yeah, Sphinx is a tough one for me to kill. But I do have one Beseech left in my deck. So let's see what we can get. No. All right, there we go. Probably losing this really bad between the Urza Saga and the Sphinx here, but I'm not dead. That's the good news. Like I thought I was dead there for sure, and this is bad. Do not doubt. This is bad, but sage you please. And that's probably our last Bazaar. So we're going to have to naturally draw it. And I don't have Once Upon a Time in this deck. Presumably they're going to needle me here. But yeah. I mean, we put up our best fight here. And as I said when we played them in round 6 as well, still figuring out the best ways of combating this deck. Monetary. Yeah, we just died a Vault Key. All right, guys. Well, listen. Glad you hung out with me today. A little bit of a disappointing finish to the tournament. This is definitely a tough deck to be able to beat, and a really bad draw in the top 8. I think we would have been better just about against anything else other than this, but we got really lucky to beat it in the Swiss, and we did not get as lucky in this one. So, yeah, guys, hit that like and subscribe button, please. I do appreciate it, and we're going to see you next time. To show you the finishing blow here. There you go.